Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. All right, that's much better. Thank you. My name is Lisa Rosetta Strum. I am a teaching artist with Literature to Life. We are based in New York City. How many of you have been to New York? We love New York? Yes, we do. Look at those hands. Absolutely. We are very excited to be here. Our mission is to perform great books that inspire young people to read and become authors of their own lives. So these are one-person shows that you are about to witness. They are adaptations. They are verbatim adaptations. So everything that you are going to hear and experience is from the actual book. This excerpt will be about 20 to 25 minutes long. And then there will be a Q&A after the performance. So just a little bit about Literature to Life. We perform all over the country in venues from middle schools to elementary schools to colleges and universities to community centers. So we are so thrilled to be here. So If Beale Street Can Talk by James Baldwin. This takes place, yes, please clap for James Baldwin, yes. For those of you who are not familiar with If Beale Street Can Talk, it takes place in New York City, Harlem specifically, and also in the lower, was it the lower? No, it's the West Village. It takes place in 1974, and it is a love story, essentially, between Tish and Fonny. So without any further ado, let's welcome Cheney Waits, and this is If Beale Street Can Talk.
I look at Hayward. I look around the room. The office is dark wood, smooth, very polished. The desk is wide with 2 telephones. A light keeps flashing and Hayward ignores it, looking at me. There is no connection between this room and me, yet here I am. You're saying there's no way at getting at the truth of this case? No, I'm not saying that. Hayward lights his cigar. The truth of a case doesn't matter. What matters is who wins. So we're trying, Mama says, to buy time? Yes. Time. The word tolls like the bells of a church. Fonny is doing time. In 6 months' time, our baby will be here. Somewhere in time, Fonny and I had met. Somewhere in time, Fonny and I had loved. Somewhere no longer in time, yet totally at times mercy we love. Somewhere in time, Fonny paces a prison cell, his hair growing nappier and nappier. Somewhere in time, Fonny strokes his chin, itching for a shave. Somewhere in time, Fonny scratches his armpit, aching for a bath. Somewhere in time, Fonny looks around him and knows that he is being lied to in time with the connivance of time. And another time, he used to fear life. Now he only fears death somewhere in time. He awakes every morning with Tish on his eyelids and falls asleep every night with Tish tormenting his navel. He lives now in time with the roar and the stink and the beauty and the horror of innumerable men, and he has been dropped into this inferno in the twinkling of an eye. Time cannot be bought. The only coin time accepts is life. I sit on the leather arm of Mr. Hayward's chair, and I look out the vast window way on down Broadway, and I begin to cry. Tish, Hayward says helplessly. Mama comes and takes us in her arms. Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that. But I just can't help it. It just seems that we'll never find Mrs. Rogers. Bell will never change his testimony. Daniel will be beaten until he changes his. And Fonny will die in prison. Fonny will rot there. And I can't live without Fonny. Tish, you a woman now. You got to be a woman. Now, we are in a rough situation, but if you really think about it, ain't nothing new about that. That's just exactly, daughter. When you do not give up, you cannot give up. We got to get Fonny out of there. I don't care what we got to do. You understand me, daughter? This shit's been going on long enough. Now, you start to think about it any other way, you're going to make yourself sick, and you can't get sick now. You know that. I'd rather for the state to kill him than for you. So come on now. We going to get him out. My dear Tish, please hold on. Please tell her. Now, whenever I go to see Fonny, the first thing he always asks me is always about you. And I always say, Tish, she's fine. But he always watches my face to make sure I'm not lying. And I'm a very bad liar. I'm going to see him tomorrow. What shall I tell him? Tell him I'm fine. Do you think you could give us a little smile to go with the message? I could carry it with me. He'd like that. I smile and he smiles. And something really human happens between us for the first time. Don't forget what I said now, Tish. I won't. Tell Fonny I'm fine. That's my girl, or rather, that's Fonny's girl.
Said I love the light of love, hanging on with push and shove. Possession is the motivation.
I can sure dig a tomato who digs tomatoes. I turn my 6 tomatoes in both my hands and find myself facing a young, greasy Italian punk. When I first felt his hand on my behind, I thought it was Fonny. Then I realized Fonny would never touch me that way. Besides, he's around the corner buying cigarettes. I see a white cop coming slowly up the road, and I realize that I am black and the crowded streets are white. So I turn and I go into the shop and I find a scale and look around for someone to help me so that I can pay and get out of here before Fonny comes back from around the corner. Hey, sweet tomato. You know I dig tomatoes. I try to move, but the boy blocks my way. I look around for someone to help. He's probably just a broken down junkie, but when he grabs my arm, I slap his face and spit in it. And at that exact moment, Fonny comes into the store. Fonny grabs the boy by the hair, knocks him to the ground, picks him up, and drags him out onto the sidewalk and knocks him down again. I scream, and I hold on to Fonny with all my might, for I see that the cop who's on the far corner is now crossing the street on the run, and the white boy lies bleeding and retching in the gutter. I am sure that that cop intends to kill Fonny, but he cannot kill Fonny if I can keep my body between Fonny and this cop. And so, with all my strength, all my love, all my prayers, I hold the back of my head against Fonny's chest and both of his wrists between both of my hands, and I look up into the face of this cop. That man, there, attacked me right in this store. Everybody saw. No one says a word. I cannot see Fonny's face, but I can see that cop's face. And where were you while all of this was going on between Junior there and your girl? He was around the corner buying cigarettes. That true boy? He's not a boy, officer. You live around here? Yeah, on Bank Street. He gives the officer the address. We're gonna take you down, boy, for assault and battery. Oh, no! I know both of these are young people. They shop here very often. What the young lady has told you is the truth. I saw them both just now when they came in. I watched her choose her tomatoes, and her young man left her and said he would be right back. I was busy. I couldn't get to them right away. Her tomatoes are still on the scale. And that little good-for-nothing shit over there, he got exactly what he deserved. What would you do if a man attacked your wife, if you have one? I saw exactly what happened. I am a witness, and I will swear to it. Funny way to run a business. You will not tell me how to run my business. I was on these streets before you got here, and I will be here when you are gone. Now take this miserable urchin away with you, drop him at Bellevue or Rikers Island or in the East River. He's of no earthly use to anyone. But do not try to frighten me. Basta! The Italian lady takes the tomatoes off of the scale and puts them into a bag. Well, I'll be seeing you around. You may, and then again, you might not. Not if they or I see you first. She takes the bag of tomatoes and puts them in my hand. You would have a good man. Take him away from these diseased pigs. I have been in America a long time. I hope I do not die here. Fani takes the bag of tomatoes and puts it in the crook of one arm. The other arm he entwines through mine, interlocking fingers. We walk slowly away toward our pad. Tish? Yes? Don't ever try to protect me again. Don't do that. But you were trying to protect me. It's not the same thing, Tish. And he suddenly smashes the bag of tomatoes against the wall. Thank God the wall is blank. Thank God tomatoes spatter and do not ring. I know what he is saying. I know that he is right. I know that I must not say anything. Thank God he doesn't let go of my hand. I look down on the sidewalk, which I can no longer see. And I hope he doesn't hear my tears. But he does. He stops and turns me to him and kisses me. Don't think I don't know you love me. You believe we're gonna make it? There are tears on his face. His or mine, I do not know. I kiss him where our tears fall. I start to say something. Hello. Hello. You a fine, tough chick. Had it been for you, my brains might be being spattered all over that precinct basement by now. We live in a nation of pigs and murderers, and I'm scared every time you're out of my sight. And maybe what happened just now was my fault because I never should have left you at that vegetable stand. I was just so excited, about the loft, and I wasn't thinking, honey, I've been to that vegetable stand 100 times before, and nothing like this has ever happened. I gotta take care of you, of us. You can't go everywhere I go. How is it your fault? That was just a broken down junkie, a broke down white American. Well, yes, but how is it your fault? They got us in a trick bag, baby. I know it's hard, but I need you to bear in mind that they can make us lose each other by putting me in the shit. Or they could try to make us lose each other by trying to make you protect me from it. You see what I mean? Yes, I see what you mean. And I know that that's true. That cop. What about that cop? That cop's gonna try to get me. I had certainly seen him before that particular day, but He had been just another cop. After that particular day, he has red hair and blue eyes. Eyes as blank as George Washington's eyes. But I'm starting to learn something about the blankness of those eyes. And what I'm learning is starting to frighten me to death. If you look steadily into that unblinking blue, into the pinpoint at the center of the eye, you will discover a bottomless cruelty, a viciousness cold and icy. In that eye, you do not exist if you are lucky. If that eye from its height has been forced to notice you, if you do exist in the unbelievably frozen winter which lives behind that eye, you are marked. 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 Can I carry that for you? I drop it. In fact, I almost pee on myself. And I look into Belle's eyes. No, thanks very much. Well, you ain't got far to go. Sure wish I could carry that for you. We are on a hurried, crowded Twilight Avenue, me with my package and handbag staring at him. He's staring at me. I can feel his sex stiffen against me. I ain't a bad guy. Tell your friend. You ain't gotta be afraid of me. I'm not afraid, and I'll tell him thanks. Good night. Good night. I never told Fania about it. I couldn't. I blotted it out of my mind. I don't know if Belle ever spoke to Fania. I doubt it. On the night that Fania was arrested, Daniel was over at the house. He was a little drunk. He was crying. He was talking again about his time in prison. He had seen 9 men rape 1 boy, and he had been raped. He would never, never, never be the Daniel he had been. And Fania held him up just before he fell. I went to go make the coffee, and then they came knocking at the door. What the fuck are we gonna do about Mrs. Rogers? Where the hell did she go? We don't know, but we'll find her. How are you gonna find her? We think she went to Puerto Rico. We're sending people there. And suppose she went to Argentina or Chile or China. Fania, how could she go that far? They can give her money to go anywhere. Who? The DA's office, that's who. Honey, I don't think they have. How are you gonna get the money? We're all working, all of us. My daddy's working at the garment center. You're working at the department store. Your daddy's working at the waterfront. Fania, listen to what? What are we gonna do about that lawyer? He don't give a shit about me. He don't give a shit about nobody. Do you want me to die in here? Do you want to bring this baby here or not? Joseph hands her her 3rd cup of hot cocoa, her previous 2 being kicked right back up. Yes. Then I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to give up your job. I know you're worried about the money, but you let me worry about the money. All you doing is wearing yourself out. I'm serious, Tish. I know you are. We gotta take care of each other in this world, that's all. Right? Now, there's some things that I can do that you can do, and there's some things that you can do that I can't do. Like I can't have that baby for you. I would if I could. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. You know that? Yes, I know that. And there's some things that you can do for Fonny that I can't do. You got to go see him every day, Tish, every day. You take care of Fonny, we'll take care of the rest. Every day, when Fonny sees my face, he knows that I love him. And God knows I do more and more and deeper with every hour. But it isn't only that. It means that others love him too. Love him so much that they have set me free to be there. He's not alone. We're not alone. And even if I am somewhat terrified that I no longer have anything which can be called a waistline, he is delighted. Oh, here she comes, big as two houses. You sure we ain't having twins or triplets? We might be making history, shit. And I understand that the growth of the baby is connected to his determination to be free. So I don't care if I get to be as big as two houses. The baby wants out, and Fonny wants out. We're gonna make it in time.
Just enough for the city. Her brother's smart, he's got more sense than many. His patience long, but soon he won't have any. To find a job is like the haystack needle. 'Cause where he lives.
Thank you all so much. Can you just now take about a minute and talk to the person seated next to you and discuss what stood out for you in that experience? All right, we're just waiting for our actor to return to us, but would anyone like to share their initial thoughts or reactions before we get into our Q&A? We're all family here, we say. There's no right or wrong answer. Oh, and just so you know, these are just 20 to 25-minute excerpts, but these actually run about an hour normally, and sometimes an hour and 5 minutes. So this is a full experience, yes. Anyone? Yes, please stand and go to the mic so we can all hear you. And please say your name so that we know who you are.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Cheryl Spivak from Fairfax, Virginia. And I was wondering how
y'all choose the scenes, the passages that you do in order to get so much into a small bit of time?
That's a wonderful question. Well, Elise Theron is our wonderful person who adapts these adaptations that you see, and I think it's a long discussion, I believe. The book is read several times, and I think it does become sort of a bit of a collaboration between Elise and the actor to figure out what would be the best way to tell this story, because you can't, of course, include everything, and you want to, and there's so much you want to include, but that we give enough of the story to have a complete through line and something that is active, that we have enough of the characters, because as you see, there's several different characters that are being portrayed, and so we give just enough to give you the story, to give you the idea, the world, and the themes of it. So I hope that answers your question. Yes? Great. Perfect. Cheney Waits, ladies and gentlemen. Our actress is back.
I think I'm live.
Are you live?
I think I am.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Please, if you'd like to ask a question, yes, please say your name and ask away.
Hello, my name is Sam Roit. When I came to see the performance, I didn't expect it to just be one actor.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to hold the mic just a little closer and just speak up, okay?
Hi,
Thank you.
sorry. Hi, my name is Sam Roit. When I first came to see the performance, I didn't expect it to be one actor, and I was wondering what was the decision behind it being just a one-woman show?
I can't. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your question. This company specializes in solo adaptations of novels. So that was a given for all the works that you're experiencing this afternoon. I think in part, in terms of historically, and you might be able to speak to that as you've been with the company longer than I, but Wynn Hammond, who is the founder of Literature to Life through American Place Theater, along with Elise, had an actor in his class. And she was a Black identifying woman, and she brought in Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye into his acting class. And she bringing that in served as a seed for the idea of a one-person adaptation of novels. And then from there is where it grew, based on my understanding.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Botts. I'm Washington, D.C. I wish I had a question. It's more of a reaction. I was really struck by the physical setting that you were able to establish due to James Baldwin's expert writing, but also your expert portrayal of the prison cell or the office space. When you're looking out of the window, looking down Broad Street, you get that perspective of height, the physical width of the desk having two telephones on it, and feeling like this imposter in the space. I was really struck by some of the verbiage around the spaces that you move in and out of, and how that helped us travel with you throughout the narrative.
Thank you.
You want to talk about that? If we don't, you have another question? Cheney, I think that's wonderful. Why don't you talk about your process of exploring If Beale Street and creating all of that specificity that he was talking about?
There were some elements that were new today for me before, in front of an audience. It takes time. It's taken time. I have not had the fortune of being able to do this piece as consistently as other pieces have had a life, but it's been in me for some time and continuing to marinate. And so every time that I do return to it, despite the time, it allows for some deepening and also increased confidence with material that then may allow for things to actually become clearer for me. So it is a process of, actually right now, I was trying to even just be more simple in terms of what I needed to surrender to allow the characters to be. And I am a person that enters the theater world through dance. So movement and sorting is something that I do and have tried to lean on here, in addition to actually just leaning on the words. So it's taken time for some of that specificity that you got to witness today, because it wasn't always there.
Yes. And how long have you been rehearsing this? Like, how long was the actual rehearsal process for you?
Well, it's been choppy. This piece was developed in conjunction with an NEA grant in 2015 to honor the centennial birth of James Baldwin. There was a year-long celebration that Columbia University was engaged with, and along with a theater space in Harlem called the Harlem Stage and Literature to Life partnered to create this performance that originated as only 4 segments in a genre called living library. So that's another style or another form within the Literature to Life catalog. Instead of having a one-person 70-minute experience, which is what this tends to be, it was 4 different segments with an audience participation and interaction threaded in between with certain thematic ideas. So that had its initial run for maybe 5 performances to honor the centennial. And then it was at least a year and a half, if not 2, before we said, let's make it not a living library, but this full Literature to Life performance piece. And it got performed. Were all of these scenes in it? I think they are. So we've actually been adding scenes every time we've done it. And there's been scenes, there's a family scene that maybe you've witnessed once that hasn't gotten back into the fold again at this moment because it's been weaving together like a quilt. But I've been with the piece in its germination and been a part of the contribution of selecting segments to expand it to this longer form since about 2015.
Hi, my name is Ani, and I am curious, when you were developing these performances, how are you thinking about your audience? Are you thinking about someone who's already familiar with the book, or theater lovers, or who are you thinking about in the process?
I think young people were the first audience, I think. So young people and adults. This is definitely a book that's aged high school and older. And anyone who has an interest around Black American life and mass incarceration. I know that those were some of the guide points for Piper Anderson, who was the person who approached me about participating in this project, as she was one of the driving forces in determining the initial pieces to be selected from, in addition to Elise.
Hi, my name is Malu. I live in Washington, D.C., but I'm actually Peruvian, so I'm learning here, and I was interested in the character of Trish. I was wondering if, I noticed that the performance is really focused on her point of view, so I want to ask you, is that come from the book, or is it intentionally placed in the design of the performance? Thank you.
Thank you. The book is written from Trish's perspective. And it's the first James Baldwin novel, and may even be the only one, that has a female protagonist and written from a female point of view. So it is all Baldwin.
Do we have any more questions for Cheney? Yes, I see someone. Yeah.
Thank you for that performance. I was just wondering, obviously some of the authors are not here when or have already passed by the time you're performing, but with your company, do you ever have the opportunity to work with the authors and sort of perform for them or get their input as you're going through your rehearsals?
The authors who are currently living in our catalog have given their blessings to the company, and the Baldwin estate has given their blessing for this piece to be within our catalog, and representatives of the estate, which he is still survived by nephew and sister, they have experienced the piece when it was done that first stage. So they've had, I don't know to what degree in terms of content contribution they've had. That's been the Baldwin family's involvement. And Juno Diaz, he's seen Oscar Wilde, which will be the next piece, and he has seen the piece performed and maybe even participated in some other larger public happenings that were adjacent to literature life in some way. And one of our newest titles, The Late Homecomer, among memoir, Cal Kalia, she is very aware of the piece. I don't know if she's seen any segments yet, but she gave the permission for it, and she actually contributed to the fundraising effort last year for the organization.
Yes. We've also worked with Lemon Anderson for County of Kings. And I'm sorry, her name escapes me, of The Giver. What's her? Thank you, Lois Lowry. Yes, thank you. Yes, we've also worked closely with Lois Lowry on The Giver for our adaptation. Yes. Yes, please. Yes.
Hello. Am I? Okay, there we go. My name is Desiree. So my question for you is, in the previous piece we saw, there was a lot of emotional back and forth, creating a character going from one character that's being very austere or very angry, and then playing that character, playing the other character. In your case, you had characters that had to physically interact, where you had her being approached and groped and things like that. How do you work that into your rehearsal process, getting to that, being able to make that live?
Thank you. A lot of imagination for me, as well as, I've had some of the experiences that I am embodying through the story, so I'm very clear about the contact, for example. So pulling in that way, and practicing and imagining that making real that other being as best as I can, their physical presence there. And rehearsal. It is certainly a bit, I've not performed in a venue like this, doing this particular type of work. So I have to actually make things much smaller to not be overwhelmed with the sea ofness. And maybe to some audience members, discomfort though, but being able to zoom in and beam in with particular folks, folks here may not have enjoyed that, but it was helpful for me to help lock me in and help give me a stronger anchor than the spaceship that we're in. A lot.
Someone else? I think I want to add on to a question that was asked earlier.
And I have a question.
Oh, you have a question
I
too?
do, for people.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You want to ask? Do you want to ask it?
Well, I would welcome hearing any more responses that you are having, or what's moving through you right now. And it doesn't have to be words oriented, it might be even sounds, but I welcome hearing how you are receiving and processing yourself. And there's no right answer.
You want to say something?
I'm only going to comment on this because I know I'm not the only person that felt this. So during your performance, there was a cowbell going on back here. So there were times when you were angry, and I was just like, the cowbell just added to my anger with you. So I was just like, okay, let me get back. But I really found that particular moment between the three of you, between the man, the woman, and the police officer, very intriguing, because how you were able to create that very small but very profound moment. It was a very strong moment, and I thought that was very good. And also the same thing with the moment between the character and the guy who caught her while she was out by herself. Those moments were just gemmy with feeling and emotion. And like I said, it didn't hurt that I was already angry about the cowbell.
Appreciate you. I didn't even hear the cow. I don't know if there's a cowbell.
Go ahead.
My response is the word stillborn. I want to be very sensitive as I say that, understanding the moment that we're in and my being male. But you end on the note of freedom for both the child and Fonnie. As we know in the book, Fonnie, somebody gets mourned and somebody stays in jail. And the ways in which losing Fonnie and losing men like Fonnie produces this, a similar disruption, a stillbornness, a hurt, a loss, a pain, and the ways in which we have to carry those scars, especially the way that those scars burden women in society.
Thank you.
My name's Kitty. I live here in D.C. I'm from Chicago. I don't have a lot to say. I just wanted to respond to your question about how we felt as an audience member experiencing the work. And I felt very overwhelmed, which made me feel a part of the work because there are so many broad emotions happening, so many different emotions. And the fluidity that you gave us within the emotions really helped it be not only just understandable, but digestible, and to feel the empathy within the character. So very overwhelmed, very much so feeling swept away by the work and the emotion.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janice. Thank you for your performance. I was just floored by the way you express love and the pain of that love. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrice, Washington, D.C. And one scene, and it was when you were portraying, I think, the father and Fonnie, or Trish, and it was that hope where it was, I talk to him every day, and I'm a bad liar, so you need to make me believe so I can make him believe that you're doing okay. And that just struck me because you have to have that kind of hope to survive. So I just appreciated the performance.
Thank you. And that was with the lawyer, Haywood. Mind you, we gave you a segment that's right in the middle, so. Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Victoria from Maryland.
And can you speak up?
Me? Yes? Okay. Hi, I'm Victoria from Maryland. I wanted to congratulate you and thank you for presenting Trish as Baldwin wrote her, this person who, in the midst of a terrible situation, is, as she said, she was liberated to remain soft, in a lot of ways of a finer material. Like others took on the anger, others took on a lot of the weight, in some ways, at least of earning more of the money to finance his liberation, Fonnie's liberation. But she was, in many ways, freed to remain a steady, positive support for this person who is in the depths of a hellish situation. So I really appreciate you pointing out the solidarity that family responded to that tragic situation. So I could see the softness just in your body language and your facial expressions whenever you portrayed Trish. So thank you.
We have 2 minutes left. So, Cheney, I wanted to ask you this question as I asked Tarantino. Why is If Bill Street Can Talk relevant? today? Why do we need to read this book? Why do we need to see this book performed and talk about it?
I think the lack of access to this book is part of the answer. Why is it such a hidden gem? What does it mean to have, now mindful of when Baldwin wrote this, and he actually had to write this while out of the United States of America, after time interviewing Huey Newton, after the assassinations of his dear friends, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, and the beginnings of, the advancement of mass incarceration emerging. There is such, and with that, this is a story about family, families. If we don't dare to be really honest about the ills of racism and its manifestation within the system of mass incarceration, of colorism that emerges, we will never have a chance to truly reconcile in order for this nation and globe to move forward. I think Baldwin is one of the best prophets, along with his best friend Lorraine Hansberry and many others who are also present-day writers now, and he serves as an inspiration, and he's prolific in his words. I find his precision with language. He doesn't mince words. So as long as we are still struggling with all of the consequences and living and breathing entities of racism and harm, we need Baldwin and all the other Baldwin-like voices to come. We gotta wrap it up.
All right.
Nice song.
Thank you, Cheney Waits. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa Strong.
Absolutely. So we are going to take a 15-minute break. So for those that want more information about what we do, we have pamphlets. If you go to our reps, they have orange T-shirts. So, actually, no, Tarantino in the tie. Yes, come get a pamphlet over there and to get all the information about what it is that we do. And next up will be The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde in the next 15 minutes.